Welcome back to Burkeshire Farm. My name is Jackie, and today's video is part of the 12 Days of Cookies collaboration. This collaboration is being put on by Ashley from CNC Farms, and I want to thank Ashley so much for allowing me to be a part of this collaboration. So the cookie I am going to be making today is Grandma's Sugar Chewy Ginger Cookie. Now try saying that one 5 times fast. I have trouble saying it 1 time fast. So with this cookie recipe, the first thing I want to do is I want to turn the oven on so it will start to preheat at 350 degrees. So while I am getting everything all ready, the oven's going to start cooking or start heating up. So the first part of this recipe, what we do is we mix the dry ingredients. So we're going to start with 2 1/4 cup of flour. To that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, not baking salt. Then we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. One of the star ingredients which is 2 teaspoons of ground ginger. Oops, well, there were 2 little containers there. And then we have 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And what I'm going to do is just take a fork, or if you have a whisk, and mix this really good together. You want to incorporate all the spices into that flour. And that's all there is. Okay. I'm going to put that aside and we will come back to that in just a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to go to the wet ingredients. The wet ingredients, we're going to start with 3/4 cup of softened, unsalted butter. Get that in there. Then we are going to go to a 1/2 cup of white sugar. Next, we are going to do a 1/2 cup of packed light brown sugar. This recipe specifically says light brown sugar. I have learned in the past that if it says light, do light, don't use dark, because the last time I switched it up because I only had dark, everything turned out as hard as a rock. So make sure you use the light brown sugar. Then the next thing is, of course, we have our 1 farm fresh egg. We are actually still getting fresh eggs from our chickens, even though it's starting to get a little bit dark outside and it's getting kind of chilly outside. Our chickens are still doing okay as far as laying eggs. We used to get 8 to 9 eggs. Now we're getting about 6 to 7, so not bad yet. Then the next thing we want to do is get our molasses. The molasses is a 1/4 cup. I have to admit, when I first made this cookie recipe years ago and I did the molasses, I was like, I'm not sure I'm going to like this, but this is the second best ingredients for this recipe. I'm just going to pour that right on in there. And I'm going to scoop all that goodness out of there. And then the last thing we're going to add is 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it on my mixer back here and I'm going to mix it up until it's all nice and creamy. I'm going to start out slow. And then I'm gradually going to bring it up to speed. So what you want to do is incorporate all the wet ingredients until it becomes nice and creamy. And that's why you want the butter to be soft, because if it was hard, it would be chunky and it wouldn't cream together. All right, that is perfect. All right, we have our wet ingredients all mixed together. It's nice and creamy. Wipe off the little paddle here. Get all that cookie dough off of it. That looks pretty good. Let me get my spatula. Scrape down the sides. Then what I want to do now is put this in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes so we can get a little bit hard, which makes it work a little bit better putting it on the cookie sheet and also baking. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the fridge, and I'll be back in about 15 minutes or in just a couple seconds for you, and we'll be ready to put these on the cookie sheet. It's been about 15 minutes, so I just took the chilled cookie dough out of the refrigerator. And what I like to do is, when I make these particular cookies, is I like to use just a little cookie scoop or a melon ball scooper or something like that. That way they stay pretty much uniform, same size and everything. And you want to use a whole scoop like such. Place it in your hands. Roll it. Now this is the part that when I was a kid, I liked doing. Roll it into a little ball, and then you're just gonna roll it in some sugar and coat all the sugar, or coat the little ball in the sugar so it's completely coated, and then place it on the cookie sheet. Now what I like to do is, this is my favorite cup because on the bottom here it actually has a ring and you can see through it. You want to smash the cookie down. These are not cookies that are going to spread on their own. So you want to go ahead and smash this down. And because of that rim and because I can see through the glass, each one of my cookies are going to look like that. And they'll spread a little bit, yes, but not like a chocolate chip cookie where you leave it as a ball and the whole thing spreads out. So it'll spread a little bit and they'll all be the same size and very uniform. So I'm gonna get started here and get some of these going. All right, we have one tray all done, and you can see using that glass, I was able to smash them to be the perfect size, and the scoop makes them all the perfect size. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven, and I'm going to bake it for about 8 to 10 minutes. Remember, I had turned the oven on earlier when we first started mixing all the ingredients, so it's all ready. Put the cookies in because it's at 350 degrees. I'm going to cook them for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then I will pull them out, and we're going to try one of these. All right, here we go. We'll be back in just a second when we pull them out of the oven. All right, the timer went off. It actually went off at 8 minutes. They weren't quite there yet, so I added the extra 2 minutes. And we're going to take them out. And look how beautiful those cookies turned out. They are all nice, same size, golden brown. They just look absolutely beautiful. So what I want to do now is take them off of this silicone sheet. This is a silicone sheet, so I don't have to oil the cookie sheet or use parchment paper. I am using parchment paper to put the cookies on so that they can cool, because I haven't found my cookie racks yet. So we're just gonna Gently take them off. Look how easily they come off that silicone sheet. We're just gonna line them up, and we're gonna go ahead and keep making some more of these cookies. I already have another one in the oven cooking away, and I'm gonna make another one real quick here. Once again, I would like to thank Ashley at C&C Farms for inviting me along on this 12 days of cookie collaboration. It was a lot of fun baking my first batch of Christmas cookies today. I also like to thank all of our subscribers, and if you're not a subscriber and you think you might like our videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget the little bell button that lets you know when our next video is coming up, and of course that like button. Hit that like button too. I would like to wish everybody from my kitchen to yours a very Merry Christmas, and until our next video, God bless.